Hello people from all of YouTube, I am IggyHopXD, and this video is a sequel to a video that I made more than a year ago now, in which I played a bunch of SuperTux custom levels that I had made myself all the way back in 2020, which, if you haven't seen that video, I definitely recommend watching it, either before or after this one. In that video, I played a bunch of levels from 3 collections mainly: Iggy's World, Old Levels Remastered and Random New Levels, and Tux's Adventure Back in Time. Now, with Tux's Adventure Back in Time, there were 3 levels which were Good Old Days, Antarctic Summer, and the new Milestone Approaches, which I was not able to play because, as you can see right here, as soon as I tried to load any of these 3 levels, the game would immediately crash. So the reason why these levels crash is because these levels include some objects that were present in version 0.6.2 but not in version 0.6.3, mainly enemies that were in older versions of the Revenge in Redmond level collection. And therefore, because these objects don't exist in version 0.6.3, the game doesn't know what to do since they can't load, and it just crashes the game. So for a long time, I kind of considered those levels lost because I didn't really feel like doing code editing in order to make the levels actually viable for the newer versions. And at the time, I didn't know how to have multiple versions of the game at the same time in my computer, and I honestly didn't feel like just deleting 0.6.3 off my computer just to download another version just to play these 3 levels. However, I recently came up with a solution to this. Here we go! Turns out I also had the 0.6.2. So thanks to a program created by fellow SuperTux player Bankata453, I can actually load various versions of the game at the same time in my computer. This program being called the SuperTux Launcher. It's definitely very useful, especially for speedrunners, since there's different versions of the game that have very different physics and levels. But thanks to this, I can actually have access to those levels that I considered lost at the time. So essentially in this video, I am going to be playing those levels and just kind of react to them to see what I was doing all the way back in 2020. Okay, so here we are with the first level of the collection that I was not able to play in the other video, Good Old Days. So as you can see, basically the concept of this collection, Tux's Adventure Back in Time, was that the levels were themed around the older versions of SuperTux in general, as it is explained in the intro level of the collection, which is in the other video. Here we go! This seems to be what the world used to look like back in version 0.0.4. That was back when your game was called Revenge in Redmond, and when you had to save a penguin girl called Gown from aliens. Damn, to think that was more than 15 years ago. So yeah, it's kind of a retro-styled collection. The later levels were meant to be themed around the later versions of the game and eventually leading to what the game currently is. Back then, not only were tilesets way less fancy and way more wacky, but also your enemies were just technological stuff. Oh, here's the secret area. Pretty nice. Yeah, they were basically levels that just were made to look like old versions of the game, which is why the tilesets look so ugly like this, full of cutoffs. But this is because the older versions of SuperTux literally looked like this. I am not joking. This is how they looked like. Where's the block? Where did I put it? There it is. Didn't even put any indication towards that. Not gonna lie, I'm kinda disappointed in Iggy from back then. In SuperTux 0.0.4, there actually were no checkpoints, but I added one here just in case you're scared of dying. That's the thing, I was just trying to make the levels themed like those versions, but I tried to also put some modern conveniences, let's say, not just limit myself to only stuff that was back then in the game, but try to be as faithful as possible other than that. Anyways, here's the end of the level. Okay, that's an interesting way to end the level. It stops your movement and then just lets you win. Okay, I want to check if that was a secret, and if so, how you'd get there. Oh, no, here's the secret. Okay, what does this say? I want to see that. Also, I just noticed this, and I think I should probably comment on it. As you can see, the very top of the screen and the very bottom of the screen just have like empty parts. The reason why it's like that is because back when I made those levels, I still had my laptop, which was rather small, and therefore I couldn't really see these parts of the screen. Now, since my computer is way bigger and the resolution is way bigger as well as a result, I can actually see those cutoffs now, but back then I couldn't really see them. So yeah, don't blame me on them, blame my other computer. Those are nice memories. Oh, it's just a coffee that gives you a 1-up. This coffee cup will give you 100 coins. In 0.0.4, the coffee cup was actually the sprite used for the fire flower, but whatever. I didn't even close the freaking parenthesis. Oh my god. Next level we have Antarctic Summer 03. Okay. So it seems like in this one I decided to go with a fancier background. Still trying to like give it a classic look, but I didn't want to just have like a plain color, which I guess I understand. Oh, you hear that tune? That's right, version 0.0.6 was the first version to introduce SuperTux's most iconic song, Mortimer's Chip Disco. After so much time, still a banger of a song. Honestly, yeah, it's such a good song in my opinion. These bomb sprites look so goofy. In fact, I think the bombs didn't even exist back then, so this is slightly inaccurate because of that, but whatever. Enemies were still computers and moneybags in this time, but this was because the game still hadn't reached its first milestone. We'll get to that later, in fact. And well, if you've seen the other video, you might actually have seen some of that already. Honestly, other than the tile sets, which were made like this, of course, to just look like the older versions of the game, I think these levels are actually pretty cool. Like, not to be self-absorbed or anything, but I think I did a decent job. I was trying to make levels that were like fun to play, just classic style. I was trying to get some inspiration from the actual Icy Island as well for some of this. Yeah, I think I did a decent job at this, not gonna lie. Those pesky enemies, they are getting really annoying. I honestly don't even remember writing most of these texts. Like, they don't seem like stuff that I would have written all the way back in 2020. Okay, and a risky jump. If you've seen the other video, apparently back then I had some kind of obsession with making slightly hard jumps for the player. And there it is. We did it. Apparently I missed a secret again. Okay, let's be honest, this is a bad secret. There's literally no indication towards it. What was I cooking, honestly? What the heck? And last but not least, we have the new Milestone Approaches, which is the last level that I wasn't able to play in the other video. In early 2004, something was getting prepared for the near future. If you keep going forward, you'll find out what it is. So yeah, as we progress through the level, you'll notice some changes in design, let's say. Okay, so here again, this problem with the tiling, but I remember this. Nice try, buddy, but don't think you'll get that far trying to cheese the level. I don't even know if this song actually was used in older versions. I know it's a very old SuperTux song, and it's used in the Revenge in Redmond collection, but I'm not exactly sure if this song was used in older versions of SuperTux. In fact, if any of the info in these text boxes is wrong, honestly, I wouldn't even be surprised. If anyone has any corrections to make because they know better, make sure to tell me. Oh, and as you can see here, we have edges. Huh, this ice gate seems to contain actually properly bordered tiling. What could this mean? Go through the door and find out for yourself. We're in version 0.1, let's go! Would you look at that? In May 2004, Milestone 1 of SuperTux came out, with its first version being 0.1.1. Truly one of the most important moments to remember about the history of this game. In this version, a lot of important things that SuperTux was needing came out. Better tiling and graphic design, theme variation, new music tracks and backgrounds, and most importantly, 26 main levels for the story mode. Pretty cool, right? Whoops. Forgot about this. Okay, so it seems we are approaching the end. Oh, I actually almost 100%ed the level, other than the target time. That's cool. Alright, let's go for the full hundo. Nice! 4675. So that is the end of the levels that I wasn't able to show in the previous video. But it is not the end of this video, because I do have one more thing that I want to check. So as you can see, we are back in 0.6.3, and now I want to check a collection that I made a while ago that I actually haven't entered in a while, which is called test levels, in which apparently I have 3 levels that I made at some point to test stuff. I kinda know what to expect, but not entirely, so let's see. We have this level which is called Ice Crusher Clip and Water Test. So I was trying to see if Ice Crusher Clips were possible underwater. So if you don't know what Ice Crusher Clips are, I made a video tutorial for them, but just in case, they're a glitch where if you use an ice crusher, like this, you can actually clip into the walls. However, I was trying to see, can you do them underwater? And turns out, you absolutely can. It's kinda cool, right? So if we ever get a level that is underwater and has ice crushers, we can use that as a speedrun trick. Next up, I have this one, which I forgot I even had. SMW style stuff. So after I finished SuperTux Bros, I was trying to see what other mechanics from Mario games I could maybe try and implement into SuperTux. So yeah, this was an attempt at trying to recreate some stuff. This beginning part is kind of inspired by the sliding Koopa at the beginning of Yoshi's Island 1. I tried with a frog and with a fish, but neither of them really fit. This was trying to mimic the platforms that are in Yoshi's Island 3, I'm pretty sure. But yeah, neither of them really worked. Whatever, it's still too short. Either way, yeah, I was trying to see what mechanics from Super Mario World could, in theory, work. And yeah, I either way don't really plan on remaking Super Mario World in SuperTux. And finally we have Desert Test, which was an attempt at making a desert style stuff. This was also kind of to see if maybe if I ever try to remake another Mario game into SuperTux, what stuff I could do to make a desert theme level without having to like download other tile sets, just using what we have in the game. So as you can see, I did a pretty good job in the background. I think that definitely looks like a desert. But yeah, I was trying to see in terms of tiles what could work and what couldn't. And yeah, it didn't really seem like there was anything very interesting to make. But yeah, there's always room for improvement, so maybe one day I can actually make something closer to a desert without having to use custom tile sets or anything. But yeah, that's everything for the test. Okay, so with all of that out of the way, that was the video today. We played some old, almost lost levels that I made all the way back in 2020, and we played some levels that I did more recently and that I kind of forgot about. So once again, I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you haven't yet, please make sure to check out the other video I made playing some of my old custom levels. It's honestly one of the videos that I think I did the best on out of the videos that I made back then. And other than that, if you like this video, feel free to give it a like, and if you'd like to see more content from me, you can also subscribe to the channel. It will definitely show your support and it will make me feel happy. I hope you have a very nice day, and I'll see you in the next video I make. Goodbye.